Good afternoon. Welcome back to ATI Pro Media. We are powered by Advanced Trading. Tommy Grisafi here, coming to you live from Bloomington corporate office. Just got done filming a little premium content. We'll get that out to premium subscribers after the close. Hope you enjoyed Brady and Connor. I didn't watch it, but why bother? I know they did a great job. Now, they said they were only going to talk for 9-10 minutes this morning. They went for 19. So I'm going to have to ask them, what did you guys talk about? But checking into this USDA report, all eyes on Russia. Russia's what made the market go up, the wheat, and it may be what's making it go down. Crops here in America, or at least in my drive, my little 2-hour drive down here, things look pretty good, but it can change. It's going to get hot and dry. Are showers going to come in between that, or is it going to stay hot and dry for June and July? Could be a big difference. So all eyes on weather. Going to see if we have any changes in demand. With that, let's bring the guys in the show. You can get rid of my mug, Joe. I have to. There's Joe's mug. Joe is in there too. Pop back
Joe's
in
here.
Joe, you're gonna do a cameo. You just can't do that to us. So, Joe, boy, could have been
I
just happy
say,
that he was dressed. All right,
Tommy,
that,
I'm glad you didn't watch the show. Brady and I were a little surprised you even jumped on. We thought you'd be so mad at us.
I thought it would be over. I thought I was watching the replay. I mean, like 25 minutes into it, was this a novella? You guys going to go forever? Hey, I got to look up the camera. I'm looking at you guys, but nonetheless, we're on a hodgepodge situation here. Get me out of there. I gotta send an email out to my clients, letting them know we're doing that. So just go, you two on the screen, talk a little bit, and let me pop out an email. Thanks, guys. You could still hear me, right?
We can. Loud and clear.
Pretend I'm not here.
You're not here.
All right.
That'll be difficult.
Have at it.
We're about 11 minutes out. Report will come out right at 11. And so we broke it down this morning. But here, I'll pull up the numbers real quick. They're small, but we can go ahead and just look at them. Well, then we got Tommy in there. But real quick, look at the numbers if you want to see them. I guess we can just talk about them. But so the one that's looking for me is going to be the one that's probably not going to change, Brady, is I'm interested to see the final yield number, okay? Trade doesn't think it's going to change. I don't think it's going to change. But when I think of things that could add fireworks, are they going to reduce yield this early? The only time they've ever really reduced yield on the June report is during a delayed planning year. Now, we've kind of established that this year we caught up very quickly. So I don't see a change, but it's going to be interesting to see, are they going to touch that yield? Or are they going to leave it alone at that 181, a number we've never got above 180.
That's a big number, Connor. That's a big number.
It is. So other things, you and I'll let you talk about it, but we talked a lot about South America. All eyes are going to be on what are we going to see for Brazil, Argentine, corn, soy production.
Yep. Yeah, and then that Russian number, a couple discrepancies there between the WASDE and some private analysts, and even other government agencies. Which number you trust? If you're a bull, you like the lower number. If you're a bear, maybe you like the bigger numbers where the WASDE's at and the USDA's at. But we'll see what gets printed. It's plenty to debate. Typically, the June report I'd say is one where the USDA kind of just punts and kicks the can down the road, right? But we've seen a few years that catch the trade off guard and maybe surprise us. When you think it's going to be a nothing burger, then maybe that's when it's a something burger and comes in. Nobody's prepared for it, but a lot of things going on.
Well said. Historically, especially on the corn front and outside the past couple of years, on soybeans too. You're right. The trade usually wants to look. We need to get deeper into what is our weather going to be, and then what is that? I call it the June 30th. Ashley brought up it's actually on June 28th, but I call it the June 30th acreage report. So eyes are really on that and on weather. So historically, usually they don't tell us a whole lot on this report, but sometimes you got to throw historicals out the window because it is really can be a wild card. Last year's June 30th report showed me that. That's for sure.
Yep. And you talked about weather there a little bit too. We're in the heart of silly season, and you look at any seasonal chart and seasonal graphs, and they say, April, May, June, that's when the highs are in. And that certainly can be in the bearish years where we produce a crop. But this year, so many other factors out there with the election and geopolitical conflict and just so many curveballs that can send this market. Wheat's $1 lower here over the last month, and it ripped $2 higher in 82 days. I counted the KC wheat run. 82 days, we gained $2 on KC wheat July futures, and a dollar sell-off is significant, but that's half back, Connor. That's just a half back move of this last 80 days on wheat.
Right. Let's look at that. So I really think if we're looking at the wheat market, all eyes are going to be on that Russian wheat number. So as of May, they were at 91.5 for Russian wheat production.
Okay.
That was May 23, 24. May of this year is at 88. You saw estimates as low as an 82?
Actually, there's one out there that's like a 60, Connor, 60 million metric tons, significantly lower. But yeah, 75, 77 in that area. We're kind of, a lot in the trade is sub 80 right now out there. But big numbers.
And so, but then on the flip side, as you said, it's been a negative week and a half on the wheat market. If we don't get that big a cut, right, that's really going to probably fuel the bears, I could see. And so we'll see. Quick update, squaring ahead of this report. We've got July soybeans down 1, no soybeans down 4.5. July corn up 3, December corn up 1. It's really chopped around there. Wheat, Board of Trade wheat, July down 10, December wheat down 12. And so we'll see on that. You want to give us a quick KC Minneapolis wheat? You got that one in front of you?
Yeah, July KC wheat is down 16.5. It's been down, I think as much as 18 or 19, so a little bit off the lows there. Mini, I'm delayed 10 on mini, but I showed down 11 10 minutes ago.
Real quick, guys, can you hear me? Let's jump over to Wall Street. Monster day here. Breaking it down, real quick update too. Cattle up a little bit, feeders, hogs up. Gold up 23, silver up $1. 2-year, 5-year, 10-year, 30-year. Big move up in the bonds. When bonds are going up, yields are going down. Crude oil still on a nice little run up 28 cents. Natural gas coming down. I think that's more based on weather and forecast. Dow Jones up 100. NASDAQ up 260. S&P up 58. Bitcoin like that number today up 2,400. That's about 3% for you home gamers. Dr. Copper up 8. With that, we're going to be getting in a number here in a little bit. Big outside move. You guys called the show, the morning show today. What'd you guys call it? USDA versus
FOMC, because
I like that. Who came up with that title today? Who's on the Genius Committee here?
I think it's Connor over there.
I was going to say Joe. I was going to get
it might be Joe. It was probably Joe.
But yeah, because that's what Brady brought up a good point. We're talking about the USDA report, but when the chips are down, we really need to be paying attention to what that FOMC and what J Powell's rhetoric is. Don't you think, Tommy?
Yeah, that's moving money, and money is going to move these markets a lot. When you talk about funds, CPAs, people adding linked, whatever, it's a real big deal. Hey, you guys can pop me off the screen. I'll just work from the back here, but you guys continue your conversation. I got a call coming in, and it's coming in.
I think it was either Joe or Rick pre-show that talked about the the CPI data and the FOMC meeting falling on the same day. It's like 8 years. 1 in 8 years that happens.
Oh, wow.
They do these things every month. So significant twofer on today. Big numbers.
Very interesting. All right. Well, we're going to kick you completely off. So you got to put yourself back on, because I want to pull up these numbers real quick. And so one thing we didn't talk about on the live show, but we have seen some good flash sales in soybeans. 2 weeks ago, we had nothing on the books for soybeans to China. We've seen them buy for the last 4 sessions. We've had a flash sale. So it would be good to see. It's good to see that. And so we'll see if that crop production number, if they're going to change any of the export numbers or anything like that. We don't necessarily do the deep dive, right? We want to give you the quick hits, and then we're going to jump off and do our job. 1:30, tune back in. We'll have research. Brian Bastine, Drew Moore, Nate Mangold are going to do the deep dive and really look at the numbers and give a much more fleshed out approach. So make sure to tune in for that one too.
Yeah, always good to get Mangold and Drew and Brian Bastine's perspective on things. They bring great stuff to the table.
Absolutely.
One thing, did we talk about options coming off? July options got 9 days till expiration there. They expire next Friday. Got a lot of positions here in the July going to be moving around. Another dynamic to this whole market wildness going on.
Yeah, absolutely. And so here what I got in front of you is just historical price movement. As you can see, past couple of years, up 23 cents. Let's hope for that. 2022, we were down 24 cents, and same on 2021. And then before that, low volatility on soybeans. And we've seen some movement on the corn front. but nothing big, right? 2019, we were up 12 cents on the back of that delayed planting, and they did cut the yield that year. And so we'll see. What are we at? We're about 2-3 minutes out, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
A couple minutes here, and we'll get some numbers. Got research in Tommy's ear. He'll be able to read off some numbers for us when the report comes out.
We're going to look at Russian wheat, guys, and that could be a really big deal.
Absolutely.
Certainly so.
Absolutely. And so
I saw a stat this morning, real quick, from T-Storm. 100% of Argentine winter wheat was drier than normal the last 30 days. 79% was drier than normal in Australia the last 30 days. Interesting. Tidbit.
Interesting. Brazil. Tommy, cut me off when I need to. But
No, you're fine. Hey, real quick, go ahead, Brazil.
Oh, just looking at South America, in Argentina, we've known about the leaf hoppers, the bug infestation, but the question is, did it get reflected on the May WASDE, and can we see a bigger hit this go around? That's what I was going to say. Back to you.
Yeah. Hey, real quick, guys, about a minute till this comes out. Thanks for watching. Love to give away a free flag. ATI ProMedia team, 1-855-737-FARM. Give us a call. Gina G's waiting on the line. First person call, 1-855-737-FARM, giving away a flag. If you like emailing better, emails, info@ATI ProMedia. About a minute out. About 300 people watching. That's always nice. With that, let's see how far we are real time to the report. Let's get our clock out here.
I got you about 45 seconds.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. We're about 40 seconds out. All right, Jojo, with about 10 seconds left before we go there, in about 20 seconds, we'll you know what you got to roll. I don't know why I'm nervous. I guess I'm just not sitting at my normal house and seat and everything else. I'm all out of sorts with where I'm sitting and everything else. But who knows? It's the USDA. If I had to guess, this is a big nothing burger. I would love some volatility. Commodity traders, brokers love volatility. It's just what we do. So, all right, roll the breaking news, Jojo. Let's see what we have here. Breaking news report coming in about 5 seconds, and I'll try to digest the numbers. See what we have in the initial market move. Not seeing anything yet here, home gamers.
Not a whole lot of price action either, Tommy. Nothing exploding anyway.
Well, I don't see it yet. Might be on a little delay on the numbers.
Yep.
KC wheat down 11.
Yeah.
Corn up 4, going into it a little bit.
Is this that much of a nothing burger that the market's not moving? We're looking for Russia right now.
That'd be incredible. Shoot the numbers out when you got them, Tommy. Because right now, if I don't have the numbers,
83 on Russia, guys. 83 on Russia.
Okay.
Dropped 5.
Significant drop.
Looking for a corn number, Ben. Yeah.
Wow, very little price action here. Are you looking at this, Brady?
24, 25, corn unchanged, boys. It's a nothing burger.
Still at
Exports unchanged. That's a little bearish, guys, because I know Dr. Cruz and Dr. Larry, we work with a bunch of doctors, think we're at a hospital over here, but they were thinking we'd have 50 million more exports, and that's a big nothing burger. Initial reaction. Ben, eye in the sky, you seen anything else we should be talking about here on the live stream? Ending stocks for soybeans. Ending stocks for soybeans up 10. Slight bearish number there. Seeing the markets lightly sell off. I think we got what we need. Thanks, Ben. I really appreciate that.
Okay, all
right,
let's talk about it, guys. What do you think?
It sounds like
Did we just get 350 people together to give away a flag?
Man. Possibly, yeah.
Should we talk politics? All right. Election, 160 days away now. That is interesting. That isn't stopping with what's going on there. That will be a hot topic. And people probably think we're joking, but we're not. This election news is not going to stop.
Here we go.
I see. Yes, sir.
I got some Brazil numbers for you, or South America. And so looks like USDA reduces Brazil's 23-24 harvest of soybeans by 1 million metric ton, leaves corn unchanged. Okay, corn still not adjusting. I guess that's not surprising, but we're still going to see that big gap from what CONAB says they have in Brazil and what the USDA says they have for corn production. So reduce soybeans a little bit, mostly on that flooding in the southern part of Brazil. Corn unchanged.
Yeah, real quick note about these corn. It was doing okay yesterday, and it was watching wheat up 25 in the board. And all of a sudden, by the end of the day, did you guys see your ladders and tickets? You could have bought corn below settlement at 117 in the afternoon. You could have bought beans below settlement, wheat below settlement. Not wheat. Wheat actually finished okay, but the beans and the corn finished on the low. And that's interesting how they're, I look at corn right now, and once we get through this nervousness, D's corn, everyone, 465. And correct me if I'm wrong, guys. Isn't that crop insurance level within a nickel?
Yeah, 466. I think the pre-plant crop insurance number.
Yep.
Yeah. So D's corn down a little bit. Big, not a lot going on. Now there has been some spread action, and Kurt Struber broke it down for us on ATI ProMedia Premium yesterday. If you missed that or you haven't subscribed, that was a good little episode. I said, Kurt, why is July corn rallying over SEP? I know the answer, but I can't tell you. You have to subscribe. So if you're interested in ATI Pro Media, of course, go to www.ATI Pro Media. Premium subscription, $1 per day, $30 per month, and we'd love to have you. Speaking of having you, how many seats do we have left for tomorrow? 2 or 3? I know I just was pulling up chairs and stuff. They got a few left. Connor B, we have room.
Absolutely. Make sure you join us. It's going to be a great time. Tommy, I got some more numbers for you.
All right, let's do it.
Argentina. It's more numbers, but guess what? It's still no news. Argentina corn, soybeans completely unchanged from the May report. They're sticking with their 53 on Argentine corn and 51 for soybeans. So it's the more numbers I read on this report, and more looks like this is a big punt from the USDA. We're not changing anything. If we wanted to pick a headline, I think it's going to be that they left exports unchanged. That's the big outside of that. No, you know what? That's not true. The Russian wheat number is going to be a big one.
I think, Russian wheat's a big story there.
Yep.
Good stuff.
And I think we thought here personally at the firm that we were going to get a little bit more of a number, right? Joe, you telling us wrap it up, or you telling us to ask questions? Because Joe, I see his finger spinning. I don't know.
I worry about I mean, if there's nobody here to buy this market,
I'm
then
saying
they
go to
turn around
LaSalle
and sell it.
Street.
Oh, we're going to LaSalle Street. Joe, bring it down. Quote it up. All right, we're going to LaSalle Street. Producer Joe, give us some help. July corn down 1/4. Soybeans, July soybeans down 6. No beans down 9. Meal lower. Oil lower. Wheat, Board of Trade down 11 1/4. KC wheat, that's B Huck territory, down 17. Minneapolis wheat, hello to our good friends in Minnesota, North Dakota, Montana, down 12. Cattle up. Lean hogs up. Take it over to Wall Street one more time. Gold, silver, 2-year, 5-year, 10-year, everything's up. Only thing down is natural gas. When I say up in bonds, that means down in yield. We had CPI today, and the boys did a great job bringing that up. All right. If you're out there, questions, comments, anything else, we'd love to chat. I thought we had to end the show. Joe was yelling, pointing like a true producer. He was getting in our ear.
I got to give him a rundown one more time, but let's get the slew question. Brady, any adjustments on cotton exports or yield?
I'm looking that up right now. Give me a few minutes. I don't get that flash.
Are you going on the cotton?
Getting on the
You
line.
look up cotton. I'm going to run down the numbers real quick. It's truly amazing when you look. Our research team does a great job. Maybe if I could pull this in, where we have
They
prior
did a
month.
bad job. We sure wouldn't say anything live on TV, but they do a good job. They're
They
all
do a
like
great-
20 feet
they-
behind me. They're going to storm in the office and yell at me. But
they do. They deserve all the credit. But it is amazing. They have the change, and it's red if it's lower, green if it's higher. It is amazing how many numbers didn't change. I think that's the takeaway. We didn't change hardly any on wheat. Corn ending stocks for 23, 24, 25 production yield exports completely unchanged. They didn't touch a thing from the May WASDE. Soybeans ending stocks up slightly. World ending stocks across the board down slightly. And then Brazil, Argentina, they left it unchanged except For soybean production, they dropped at 1 million metric ton. Back to you, Brady.
Yep. So on cotton, addressing Luke's question here, the beginning stocks for 24-25 increased from May to June. So I mean, I'm guessing they changed some 23-24 numbers there, and then the ending stocks went from 3.7 million bales to 4.1 million bales. So kind of a significant, kind of a bearish little cotton adjustment there from the WASDE this month.
Yeah. And
Real quick,
so,
guys, if you're out there, you want to ask us a question, X, YouTube, however you're seeing this. Thanks for watching, all 400 of you right now. Ask us a question. We have time. Obviously, it's slow today with what just happened with this thing. I wonder who came up with the term nothing burger, because that is something we like to use. And I got a bad feeling. I was talking to a good friend and a new client. He said, "What's your long-term range in grains?" And he said, "Are you a bear?" And I said, "What if it wasn't bearish? What if it wasn't bullish? What if we just didn't move?" I mean, as an option trader, when we don't move, we're just that. If you knew we weren't going to move, you would just do a whole different thing. So if you knew we're going to move a lot, you do one thing. If you knew we were going to have a drought, you do a different thing. If you knew you're going to have a record crop, you do a new thing. But as a professional trader, when when the market doesn't move, it creates a different element. You guys want to talk about that a little bit? Or a broker or a hedger, when you're using these tools and nothing's happening, it kind of creates confusion within itself. Do you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. If we're using options, volatility is your friend. You got to plan for the non-volatile years, but I love to pull the stat up, the 15-year high to low on corn soybean markets. Historically, there is volatility, but we're going to have years where it doesn't move. 2017 jumps in my head. I think from the high to the low in the corn market was like 68 cents, under 70 cents for the whole year. Right. And so as a producer and as a hedger, you got to be ready for those volatile, non-volatile years. But historically, planning for volatility usually works out. Brady, what are your thoughts?
Go ahead,
Yeah.
Brady.
Well, I think about it. It lulls you to sleep. What does it do to your psychology as a farmer? From a farmer perspective, if you have this range bound type of trade, it kind of lulls you into complacency and sleep. And then next thing you know, you wake up and you're staring at $4 corn when 470 stared you in the face for 3 or 4 months. So that's what bad looks like, I guess, going forward. And you look at wheat. I mean, July wheat last July a year ago, just almost a year ago, this July KC wheat contract was $8 plus. And then we sold off to 543 in March. Significant movement there, but here we are. We sell off $1, and it's I don't know, what is good marketing, what is a good price. Hindsight's going to tell you what you could have had, always. But I'm worried about the lulling you to sleep. Yeah, go ahead, Tom.
I got one more on top of that. It's assuming we're not going to go up 50 cents or down 50 cents from here. What's the cost of money? I still think the thing that producers are missing the most is that actual cost of money. We're going to talk about that tomorrow on the recorded show. So we're going to go, hey, special announcement. We're going live at 10 tomorrow. We went live at 9 for about 140, 150 trading days, but we're going to switch to time tomorrow so we can do our meet and greet with people coming in the office and everything else. But truly, assuming we don't move, the cost of money has tripled for many of you. If you used to pay 3% interest, you're paying 9%. If you are wealthy, you could still, I walked in my local bank, Valparaiso, Indiana, big shout out, send to your bank, 2 giant jumbotrons saying they will give you 5% on any money, any time frame. It don't matter if it's for a month, a year, that's 5%. You're either making 5 or paying 9 right now. We're going to talk about that math. Brady, you're younger. Connor, you're younger. In your whole brokerage career, in my brokerage career, I've been a commodity broker, advanced trading 10 years. I've never had to deal with this elevated cost of money. Now, old timers will say this isn't a lot of money. In 1980, they always give you the stuff about 1980. Ask them in 1980 how much they were borrowing. I've yet to find a farmer who is borrowing more than $200,000. I have very few clients who have less than $1 million operating note. They might not have an operating note at all, but they could borrow $1 million, $2 million, $5 million, $10 million. You start talking about a large farm that borrows $10 million, that pays 9%, that did a poor job of marketing. That may be the single greatest thing we can help people with here the next few years, in my opinion.
I agree 100%, Tommy. You look at throwing that wheat in a bin here, fall harvest, selling it. The market may do nothing for you. And what did you tie the cash up? What could that cash have done going forward?
And
Big
Brady,
time.
I throw it back to you. You do the math really well. This it's hard to throw a cattle in the bin, but do the numbers with us one more time on how much it costs to produce a pound of beef. That's the real shocker. When you talk about these elevated cattle levels, they better stay elevated. Otherwise, the math is going to get ugly quick. Break that down. How
Yeah.
much if I went to the auction house today?
Yeah, you go buy an 800-pound steer and you spend, $2,000 for that animal. Just using that as simple math, and you're going to feed them 120, 150 days. If you're borrowing that money, you're going to be borrowing it at 8-9%, and that animal has to make 80, 60, 70, 80 bucks a head, just to offset what the cost of borrowing that money. And then where else should you park your money? What could that money be doing for you if it's in an animal versus if it's invested somewhere else in a CD, whatever, earning 5%?
Yeah,
Big
we have an
time.
interesting comment here. It looks like from someone overseas, and that's interesting. Go ahead. Basically, no big deal. CBOT Matif tonight.
Wait.
You see that, Jojo?
Pop it up.
Yeah. So this, I assume, is an overseas trader. But yeah, no great price action. The action was greater here before we even started. And I guess maybe we didn't think it was going to be busy, but I've been nervous since COVID, because in COVID, the markets crashed, oil crashed. We took things way lower. Unemployment skyrocketed, markets crashed. We're coming out of that period. To come out of that period, we had inflation. Then we had the Ukraine war that added two more rockets to two more tanks of gas to this rocket. And that distorted everything. Ukraine war distorted things really a lot. And now we create inflation. We're coming out of inflation and election cycle. So I guess I hate to tell people you don't need to be nervous, but to Brady's point, I'd never say you don't need to be nervous because things change quickly, but we could just drift lower and lull you right into sleep. And I think that could be a scenario here where we just gently lower and come harvest. You know what's coming up here? You know who's going to have a birthday here the next 60 days? Old crop grain. And if you're not moving that old crop grain, get that party hat out in kazoo, because 2023 bushels are going to have a birthday, and they're going to be new crop grain. And that just doesn't make sense. We're seeing some, I don't quite understand this one, but
I think Rocket Red, I think he tried to put like a GIF or
Emojis
something,
in
and it's
there, yeah.
emoji, and it's rocket going down. Wheat $7. That's how I took it, Chris, if I'm wrong.
Oh, you kind of be these youngsters understand the emojis and everything. All right, I'm in a good mood. One more flag. Let's get out here. Any questions, comments? Did you buy any crude when it was negative, Tommy? Interesting enough, Luke, I did, but I got yelled at for it, because when something's at negative 37, it might as well have been negative 137, because you had to make sure you could get it delivered to over by Brady over there in Oklahoma. I want to say Cushing's, Oklahoma.
Okay.
It was a very talk about understanding the delivery system and what it meant. A lot of people who didn't understand actual physical delivery. But to Luke's point, that was the expiring contract. The real genius of that whole move was that was the May contract. The June contract got down to $7, and that was not an expiration. So I want to say June got down to 7 or 9, and then August got down to 10 or 11. You literally could have bought an oil futures contract that wasn't expiring. And to be honest with you, Luke, I had a new customer call me who has a huge fleet of trucks, and he bought a lot of crude oil futures and a lot of heating oil futures, and he made a lot of money. In his eyes, he was just hedging he said, wow, I could buy gas for 99 cents or $1.10. Let's do it. The world's not ending, because he was still shipping stuff. So I found that very interesting. But most people probably have more of a bad story from that day. And when we tell you futures and options have risk, was that one for the book. So in my opinion, we're coming off that nervous cycle of COVID, countries adding money into the system, inflation, Ukraine war, and now we're ending that. So my point from 2-3 minutes ago, when a new client says, are you really bearish? I'm thinking we're going into a different cycle of grain marketing. Could be the same price and we stay here for a long time. That's my opinion.
Yeah, and you want to talk about the price action. It's not exciting, but we did have corn's now green. We got D's corn up 1, July up 4. Soybeans were down a little bit. Now they're no soybeans unchanged. July soybeans up 5. Wheat's trying to come back. It's still Board of Trade wheat is still down 6. Looking at July, And so we are at least finding a bottom, I guess. I was worried, the no news, it kind of fuels the bears a little bit, right? We know the weather looks pretty non-threatening. So far, things can change very quickly. And so that was kind of the concern. If we get no news, we're going to take that as bears. Looks like we're finding a floor in here so far. We'll see where we
Today's weather report could have had a 5X factor. Midday weather probably was way more important than this report. Last closing comments, guys?
Yeah, I want to throw this up here, this chart. This is July Kansas City wheat, and we got a kind of a bottoming tail type candle there, right at the 200-day moving average, that red line. July KC wheat down 12 cents right now, but holding that 200 and the 50-day moving average is significant for the July contract.
Sounds like game plan. If there's no other questions, comments, anything else, Brady Huck, Dodge City, Kansas, Connor B, Assumption, Illinois, Tommy Grisafi. I'm in Bloomington, Illinois. Connor and I will be going live from Bloomington for a live taping. We're going to record like 6 premium segments here tomorrow. Brady, you're going to call in on the bat phone, or do you have more education?
I got some crop insurance stuff, but I think I might be able to step away to make a phone call for a few minutes.
You jump on the bat phone. Big thanks to Ben here in the office for reading off the numbers. And with that, questions, comments, give us a call, 1-855-737-FARM. Emails, info@ATI ProMedia. If you're interested in this premium content we're always talking about, it's $1 a day, minimum of 1 month subscription, cancel anytime. We'd love to have you. All right, guys, great job. And as always, I will see you guys, special new time, one day only, 10 o'clock tomorrow. All right?
See ya.
Thanks for joining us. We're here every day, 9 a.m. Central. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.